All right, we're just waiting on all the streaming apparatuses here to go live. We're going to be live on Amazon in 3, 2, 1. Okay, and I just totally messed up my title. So let me change that real quick, and hopefully YouTube updates, because I am always messing up the YouTube thing, always. I forget to change the title or the description or something, and then we get into this wreck. So this is day 4 of me using vMix exclusively, and I got to say it's been working out okay so far. I haven't had any problems. In fact, I'm having less problems of me using vMix. I'm having less problems than I was before with the TriCaster. I want to say that my and granted, I don't want to disparage the TriCaster. I thought the TriCaster has been working great for me over the years, but it's getting old. And I think the video actually looks better out of vMix on your end. And some of the flexibility that vMix is offering has been really nice. So I'm digging it. So everybody, what we are going to be doing today is unboxing more stuff. And if you're I screwed up the title on the YouTube thing right when I started, so I don't know if it updates that for you. So if you hit refresh, you'll get the right title. So what we're doing today is we're unboxing all of this stuff. In fact, this isn't all of the stuff that needs to be unboxed. We have more. So we're going to, what I'm going to do is record some of these segments just to have for a video I'm putting together. But it will be a lot of fun to unbox things, and you all like it when I unbox things, and I've got so much stuff. So you can find me here and on Amazon, and I thought what I would probably do is start with the biggest thing first, just because logistically that's going to be the toughest. So we're going to look at this AOC monitor first, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff. I got all sorts of good stuff too. I've got laptops, 2 laptops. I got a Flowbee that I'm eager to try out. We're not going to try this today. I've got an epic live stream that we'll be doing the Flowbee with. Headset, I got not 1 but 2 different Mocha devices that came in. I've seen a lot of Mocha stuff lately. And yeah, and a thing for a telescope. I got all sorts of good stuff here. So I am excited to share with you all the things that I got. So, and I bought some of this stuff. Some of these things came in free of charge. So as we're working our way through, I will let you know what I'm doing. And one of the things that I really love about vMix, I see Soundman is in here, it keeps a log of every recording. So, because I had a few issues with drop frames on my hard drive, and I was able to see exactly which videos had problems versus which ones didn't. I've been troubleshooting it. I think I've got that part figured out now. So it's good stuff. Signosis wants to know, how much does vMix cost? Well, it depends what version you go on. I am on the trial right now, which is free, and they give you like 90 days now to try it out. It goes up to, I think, $1,500, but you can get the HD version for $60, and that might be enough for most people, and you get most of the features. I'm looking at it because I may want to do 4K. So I might go to the $700 one. Yeah, it's been interesting. I am using NDI. So my camera right now that's on me is NDI. But I noticed that, so I have the, maybe I can make a dual input here to show you what I'm talking about. So I have, and then we'll get into the unboxing. I know you all want to see that too. Let me do a 2 up here, and I'll show you what I'm looking at for the latency. So I have both the, give me 1 second here, I'm just going to build out a quick little multi-view so I can demonstrate what I'm about to talk about. So let's take camera 2 and camera 3. I'm going to do just a side-by-side here. Real quick and dirty 2 up here, just to show you what the latency. So on the left is my cam link. So I have my camera 2 going into the laptop with a USB capture device, and then the overhead camera here is running with the Connect Spark, and there's a little bit of a latency issue that I don't see on my TriCaster. Here's what I'm talking about. See that? It's like, yeah, it's a little behind. So it's not, and this is the Spark from NewTek, which has some compression on it. So if I change, let me change this real quick and I'll show you me, because this is another NDI device that I'm going to pull up now. So my camera is on this Bird Dog device, which is an NDI device with no compression. So it has a lot less latency. So you can see it's the same, pretty much the same as the last camera I was on, but there's still some delay on the overhead because it's running with that. So I did buy a few more NDI boxes to see if we can improve the latency. So I'm going to get, I got a Spark Plus, which does not compress, so I'm going to try that. And then I've got the Bird Dog here also. The Bird Dog's been working great. So if I didn't want to go, I'm really contemplating now doing 4K. So what we'll do is kind of build a, we're going to have a stream coming up where I'm going to go out and buy all the parts for my production computer because I'm saving a ton of money doing this. Like, I can't even tell you how much I'm saving. So, well, I can. It's like multiple thousands I'm saving here. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Lewis enjoyed my antibody test. Oh, by the way, there's a article on American Public Media today. I just tweeted it out a little while ago. They found somebody who was at CES who came home sick the same day I did who tested positive. Now, I tested with a different antibody test. I was negative. So I don't know what test that guy took versus me. Or maybe he did have it and I had something else. Who knows? But we're going to see what happens. Soundman says the NDI HX is lagtastic. You know what's interesting, though, is that it hasn't been laggy on the TriCaster, but it is on anything that's not a TriCaster. So I found OBS is really bad. In fact, the lag is all over the place. You could have 3 of them hooked up and they all behave differently. This lag is consistent on the overhead, but it's fine for what we're doing here. I mean, the video looks fine, especially for you on the stream. But it is the first thing I noticed was like my hand would go down, and then it was like, here, you'll hear my hand, ready? And then you hear you see it go down there. So that's the one thing there. Yeah, I was thinking about, and we'll get to the unboxing here in a second. I was thinking about getting the new TriCaster Mini, and I would have gone and done that, except I had a couple of problems. One was that there was 2 strikes against it. So right before I was about to start looking at it, they updated my software on the TriCaster and they removed the codec, the default codec that they were using for video, which meant that if I were to take the video files off the TriCaster, I'd have to re-encode them on Final Cut Pro, which is what I edit with. That was a big pain in the butt. And in the course of exporting that video to ProRes, which is what I use to edit, I discovered that there is a severe bug in their export routine, and it cuts off like the last 2 or 3 seconds of audio. So I was really having a hard time working with the video because you couldn't just bring it in on the Mac. You had to convert it to something, but every one of the things I was converting to was chopping audio off the end of the thing. And I finally got somebody there to recognize that there is a problem, and they haven't fixed it yet. So I'm like, why would I spend all this money and get this thing that's not going to work? So this TriCaster has been on the older software version because I can't update it because I lose the codec and I can't export, but it's buggy. So that's what kind of prompted me the other day just to start playing around with vMix, and I'm really liking it. I mean, I'm just happy with how it's working. And granted, I'm a very simple thing. I'm doing mostly hard cuts here and stuff, but even the stuff that I do that's a little bit more advanced than a hard cut is working pretty well. So that's my shtick. All right, so let's start unboxing stuff, shall we? And as we go here, I'll kind of show you some things that I'm doing in vMix that might be interesting to all of you. All right, let me start recording real quick. 3, 2, 1. All right, this first item I bought, and this is an AOC monitor, a gaming monitor, a 25-inch gaming monitor that they say was developed for awesomeness. And I heard from some viewers that you wanted me to get this to see how it performs because it's very reasonably priced. It's under 200 bucks. It has 144 hertz, a 1 millisecond response time. And get this, they say it supports FreeSync and G-Sync. So it will work with both AMD and NVIDIA graphics cards to get you out of that screen tearing that you're probably dealing with. So that was intriguing to me. So let's take this out of the box and see what is inside. Now, we're not going to review this right now, of course. We're going to have a full review soon, and I'll probably have a live stream as I'm playing around with it. So be ready for that when it happens. Now, the other thing with this is that this is a TN display, which means that it doesn't have the crispness, perhaps, that you would see with an IPS display. But the TN monitors have been getting a lot better over the years, so I'll be eager to see how this one looks. And I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about this, so I'm always on the lookout for bargains. And so this one might be one of those things, but we'll find out, of course, when we put it to the test. Maybe we'll hook up our Mister to it, too, and do some retro stuff with it. So let's see what we've gotten here. Okay, this is going to be something that I am going to have to put on the floor, so let me do that, and we'll be right back. All right, so I'm going to hit the end of the recording there. And I just want to log some clips real quick. So what I'm doing is I'm producing a video that we'll have on the main channel, and that will also appear here. All right, this was 23/227. Give me 1 second here, folks. I'm still learning my workflow, so that's been part of my... Okay, this is the one at 2:27:23. So it does these very helpful logs of the time. And it's been interesting, too, because for the most part, this laptop has been handling all of this really well. This is going to be the unboxing. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing here in a second. AOC Part 1. Now, of interest here, let me add this to our, oops, wrong button. Let me add this to our, can I do that? Oh, I can do that, cool. Okay, so here, I can actually play this back for you now, what I just recorded, so let me do that. So I'll cue that up, and then I'll show you what I'm going to be looking at afterward. So let me close that, and we'll go here and do that, and then I can just do this. 3, 2, 1. All right, this first item I bought, and this is an AOC monitor, a gaming monitor, a 25-inch gaming monitor that they say was developed for awesomeness. And I heard from some viewers that you wanted me to get this to see how it performs because it's very reasonably priced. It's under 200 bucks. It has 144 hertz, a 1 millisecond response time. And get this, they say it supports FreeSync and G-Sync. So it will work with both AMD and NVIDIA graphics cards to get you out of that screen tearing that you're probably dealing with. So that was intriguing to me. So let's take this out of the box and see what is inside. Now, we're not going to review this right now, of course. We're going to have a full review soon, and I'll probably have a... Okay. So that seems to be okay. So what I'm going to do real quick before we move on is I wanted to show you, let's add another input here. I'm going to show you the desktop that I'm looking at right now. So let me just give you my display. And I'm going to cut to this. And I'll cue something else up here in the background so we don't have all this crazy stuff going on. And I'm going to show you what I've been doing after I hit record on vMix because I think this is really interesting. It's always fun to have these things kind of loop like that, isn't that cool? But if I go over to the logs, it keeps a log of every recording. And this has been really useful for troubleshooting because I've been having, when I was first playing with this the other night, I was seeing like it was freezing. And I did this interview. We had like a couple of drop frames and stuff. So I found that every time you hit the record button, it will give you a log of how many frames it captured and then how many drop frames you had. So I have some peace of mind after I'm done with a clip to know what I'm up against. Like, do I have to look for an error in here or something like that? It's really cool. So I was recording to my local SATA SSD hard drive, and that one was having some, not a lot of issues, but it was occasionally spitting on me. So now I've got a Thunderbolt drive in there that, or attached, that's been working pretty well. And there's another, it keeps another log somewhere. I can't remember where. These are the ones I was just looking at. But there was another log that it's keeping somewhere also that was pretty useful. And then what I'm doing is I'm recording with the vMix codec. And that one's been good because it doesn't use a lot of CPU. And it will allow me to convert to ProRes for the Mac afterward, which I don't mind doing because the CPU overhead is like minimal on the vMix native recording. So that's been working really well for me. All right. So Samian says that the last AOC monitor he had was DOA. Yeah, I hope it's not going to be DOA. Maybe we'll fire it up real quick before we move on to the next thing. So, all right, let me hit because I think I ended the last clip on me. Okay, so we'll cut back to the desk here. So we'll do that to start. All right, so let's hit the record button again. All right, actually, I think what I'll do, oops, is maybe I'll have I want to be able to show like the box is being being unboxed. Okay, it looks like we're getting some orange zone on the stream. My next project is finding some multi-streaming services that I can use so I can send one stream up. Because right now I'm doing two simultaneously and my internet connection's like, you know, because of this lousy connection I have here. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's see what we got in here. This is the base, it looks like, and we can peel off the plastic. By the way, I bought this with my own funds after a viewer recommendation, because we haven't looked at any good bargain monitors in a while. And this is not 4K, but 1080p is often good enough, especially if you are looking for the highest frame rate. So let me just cut over here for a second, and we just got to get the whole thing out. It's like encased in a tomb of styrofoam here. So that's what we got here. Let's get this back on the desk and see what else we have. This looks like the arm. All right, and then we've got, oh good. So it's always good when they give you the cable in the box. A lot of companies don't. Many are doing it now. So you have an HDMI cable here, and then we have the power cable. And then we've got the monitor itself. So let's see what we've got here. Oops. I'm trying to be gentle on the styrofoam in case I want to sell this to a viewer afterward. All right, so it is nicely packed, as all monitors tend to be. And let's see what it looks like. Oh, very nice. It looks like it's got very thin bezels, which you all like these days, right? It's kind of the chic thing to have. And it looks like we've got some plastic to peel off of here, so we'll do that real quick. I just got in a TV a little while ago, and there was a lot of this stuff to peel off. It was a 65-inch TV, and that was a lot of work. So we'll have to see how this one comes together. What's funny is that it supports G-Sync, but you don't see it on any of these logos here at the bottom. It's got like all these other things, and even an icon for game mode, but none of the other stuff. So let's attach the arm here. It looks like it just kind of snaps in. So we'll just, yep, snaps right in there. And then this looks like we may have to screw it onto the base, I think. But let's see. Get it on there. Nope, just snaps right in and you're assembled. It doesn't look like the base moves up and down, so it's in a fixed position. But I would imagine you could probably get a VESA mount for it. 4 ports here. We've got HDMI 1 and 2. You have DisplayPort, VGA, and a headphone jack, along with a Kensington lock. And it looks like it's got 2 speakers here on the back too, so kind of complete there. Not bad. So we're going to fire this up when we do the full review. So a little teaser there, but again, a monitor that looks like it supports everything and pretty reasonably priced. So this one will be a fun one to take a look at. Let me know what you think down in the comments below and what we should test with it during that review. Okay. That was a good run. So I like doing these videos where I don't have to plan anything. I can just talk, and it's a little easier to get started here. Let's peel that off there. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of the red. It's like, it's okay, right? It seems like a little distracting, to be honest. And actually, Recipe Bob is here. My first monitor was an AOC. I had never heard of them before, but I bought a PC in 1992 from a local PC builder, and that was the monitor that he had. This is all in the pre-Amazon days, so you had all these distributors, and that's what, the distributor had that monitor that week, that's what you got. All right, so let's put this back together here. And yes, Soundman, that is exactly it. Red means performance. Let me just disconnect something here real quick because I am squinting at my screen because I don't need to have that thing attached there so I can see better. Okay, so I want to catch up on some comments here. And as Tom says here, Tom Brown says the red stands for gaming and gives more frames per. Right, the red pinstripe will give you the FPS, right? So there you go. Roman wants to know, does the monitor have an auto power off mode if it doesn't receive signal for a period of time? My BenQ monitor has, and I've gotten so used to not having to reach over and turn the monitor off. I would imagine it does. That might be one thing we look for when we do the full review. What's nice is that it has its own, the power supply is integrated, so you don't have a brick on it. So you just run the power cable to it and you're good to go. And if I didn't have all of this stuff to unbox, I would do more on this right now, but we've got a lot more to do. So we will move this box out of the way and the monitor. This one might be a fun live stream to do, right? Because you all like that, and I like playing games, so this would be a perfect match for a live stream. Okay, what should we do next? Yeah, this is kind of like Christmas, isn't it? Why don't we do some computers, because we're going to be unboxing a couple of things that you would plug into a computer. I'm just looking at my list here. Actually, this one will be easy to do next. Let's just do this next real quick. Okay, so next one. We are going to look at Recipe Bob. That is $189 is the price point on that. Oh, I know what we should do next. Let's do this. This is a lot of fun. And this is going to be a live stream that we'll be doing at some point in the near future. And these are in short supply right now, I will have you know. And I will tell you this because I tried getting one for a while. And I happened to come across one on Amazon. Because as you know, I'm not going to be leaving the house for a while. None of you are. Unless you are an essential worker. So who's going to cut your hair? Who's going to cut your hair? You're going to cut your hair. And so you could use a clipper and totally screw up your hair, or you can use the Flowbee. And we're going to have a live stream with the Flowbee. And what's funny is this is going to be a live stream that I think will be more popular among my friends who are really eager to see this happen. So this will be a fun one. Let me just edit my clips here. I want to make sure I don't forget to log clips. And I'm just checking what I've been doing because I'm still learning this new system I'm using. I'm trying to make sure that that I don't have any errors on the clips I'm bringing in. Because if I have an issue as I'm recording, I want to start troubleshooting those things immediately. And I generally shoot short clips. I don't go for more than 10 or 15 minutes usually at a time, but that's not always the case. So I'm just trying to see if I'm experiencing any dropped frames, I want to figure it out. But no, this one was fine. We had 5,000 frames, none of them dropped. So we're good. I love those logs. Those logs are really good for me. Okay, so let me figure out where we left off on the last clip. And let's see, I'll just show you what I'm looking at here. Okay, so we ended up on me. So we're going to start on, I think what I might do is kind of make a reveal, like have it kind of come into the frame, because this is, so Flood of Sins, I should interview Ron Pompeo. Who is that? Is that the guy that was selling those things? Because one of the things I was thinking about for the live stream with the Flowbee was to get one of two things. See if I can get the president and the inventor of this is still with the company. So I'm going to try to get him, or I'm going to get my barber, one or the other. They both would be pretty fun to talk to. And here's what's funny is that everybody I talk to, and even the reviews that I've been looking at, find me a bad review of the Flowbee. Like somebody, not like somebody that was just messing around with it, but like find me somebody who bought it and honestly tried to give themselves a good haircut. I can't find anyone complaining about this thing. And they haven't changed it. Like it's the same as it's always been. So that's, Ron Pompeo was the Ronco guy. Oh, okay, he's the infomercial guy. I should do that. Tom Brown says I should get a mohawk. Interesting. I missed a few other chats here. Imran is here from Dubai. Welcome. He's looking to build a Plex NAS with some old repurposed, yeah, that's the best way to build a NAS is with old hardware. That seems to work pretty well. And Pinder Production says he prefers all black monitors, as I do. I like to have them blend in. Especially if they're like they don't have large bezels. If you accentuate the bezel you do have, that could be an issue. All right. Matt Green says, this is so relevant. This is going to be, I think, one of my best videos ever. The problem is, here's the problem for Flowbee Inc., is that they are, I believe they're still shut down. They're in Texas. And yeah, they shut down all the manufacturing there. Here, let me pull up a, here's another thing I can do on this that I couldn't do before. Watch this. I can pull up a web browser, and we can pull up the Flowbee website. So it's flowbee.com. Watch this. So I'm going to go flowbee.com. And I'm going to hit OK. And let's go to flowbee.com. Boom. How about that? And so this is the guy. Like, this is the president of Flowbee. And you can't get this right now because they are shut down. Although, let me see if they, yeah, they're still shut down right now. So I bought mine on Amazon. And you can get them on Amazon, but they're sold out. But I want to see if I can get this guy into to interview. I think that'd be kind of fun. So yeah, good stuff. All right, so let's take a look. Oh, that's the other thing. The Flowbee website hasn't changed. It's like, so it looks like they made the website in 1997. Looks like my set here. They made the website in 1997, and just like the product, they haven't had to change it. It was perfect from the beginning. Why do you need more? And you think about it, you make your website better. You've got all of these issues that you could run into with hackers and everything else. But the Flowbee, you don't need that fancy website. They don't have time to update it. Exactly, Mick Rambo. So the Tam Man says, will we see the return of the flat top? I don't know. You know, here's why I got rid of the flat top was that it would only work for about a week or two. And my hair, I'm grateful to be 43 and have all this hair, but my hair grows, and actually right now it's I comb it down now, but it just grows like this. It just grows out. So it's going to be this for a while, but I don't know what it's going to look like when I'm done with the Flowbee. So all right, so let's hit the record here. 3, 2, 1. Now this next item is one that I am very excited to demonstrate. We're not going to do it now, of course. We're going to have a dedicated live stream to this. This, of course, as you can see from the box, is the Flowbee. And if you're like me, you can't get a haircut right now because we're all locked up inside our homes. And you know, you're going to have to, at some point, do it. And I can't do the clippers. The clippers are something that I'm not going to do well. But I've been doing a lot of research on the Flowbee. I've been watching the commercials on the Flowbee since I was a kid, and often it was kind of a thing you would mock perhaps. However, it looks as though the Flowbee is a pretty good product. It hasn't changed at all in its lifespan. I think this product is pretty much the same as it's always been. And if you're not familiar with this, what it is a hair cutting system that you hook up to your vacuum cleaner. And it's kind of ingenious how it works. Now, I haven't tried this yet, but I've been watching a lot of videos about it just to get a feel for it. So we've got this end here that plugs into your vacuum. They say it is compatible with just about any vacuum that's out there, and I think there might be some hose attachments in the box. This looks to me that like it'll connect up with my my central vacuuming system. And there's a wire that's running through this. I hope that's not an issue. So yeah, you get the hose here. And then this is the business end of the Flowbee. And what this has on it, let me get you my overhead view. What this has on it are blades in here. Now you don't put this on your head just like this. What you do is you have these little plastic adapters, which I'm guessing are in the box, that go on top of this, and then that will determine the maximum length of hair that gets cut. So that's how this works. And like I said, I'm really eager to try this out. So let me put this part over here for a second, and we'll see what else is in the box. It looks like we've got an adapter here for different types of vacuum cleaners. This is like some kind of rubber sleeve. Feels like a balloon. I'm guessing there's a purpose for this, which I will probably find out when I look at the instructions. This, I think, is very important. This is your bottle of blade lubricant, and apparently you've got to use this every time you use your Flowbee. You've got to run it through the blades, turn it on for a little bit, and get those blades moving nicely together. And if you don't use it that often, it's definitely something you're going to want to do before you stick your head in there, because it'll likely cause some issues. You do have to plug it into power, so it's not powered by the suction of your vacuum. So when you plug it in, that gets the blades moving, and then the vacuum sucks the hair out. And then in here are all of the little adapter things that you use for cutting your hair, and apparently they give you a bunch of different ones. So if you want a super short cut, you use some of the shorter ones, and then you can determine longer lengths here too. So this is kind of cool. So you see how that's like kind of tapered? So this is, my understanding is you do the tapered one on the side of your head so that you can blend the top and the side with it. That's what they say to do there. And then it looks like they come apart, so you can determine the length. And if you're watching the live stream right now, I have no intention of using this right now. I've got to do a little bit more homework on this. But again, this is how you would determine the length. You kind of dial it in based on what plastic pieces you have there. And if you think about it, it's actually kind of simple, because if I attach this to the Flowbee thing here, I'm guessing it goes in like this. I haven't figured out how to attach it yet. It looks like it goes like that maybe. Okay. This would determine the maximum length of hair that would be cut, because what's going to happen is the vacuum is going to suck the hair in, and then it would cut everything up to this point. So if you're really worried about cutting too much off, start with a longer plastic thing here, and that will give you some safety as to what you're chopping. So yeah, I've got some research to do on this before we dive into it, and I think it might be a fun live stream. And if for some reason it doesn't work out, I'll just shave my head off and we'll go from there. Now, they do say that women can use this also. However, I have heard from a few women who told me that, who had long hair, that it kind of sucked all their hair in and it kind of grabbed it. And I think the problem is that if you don't lubricate the blades well enough first, there's a risk that it'll get trapped with the hair. So I think that's really the key, is getting those blades really nice and fluid. And that's what you use the bottle here for. So stay tuned. We're going to have more with the Flowbee coming up soon. Oops. All right. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of laughs on that. That's why I want to get like an expert on to guide me, either my barber or the guy that created the Flowbee, just to see how it all plays out. But it kind of makes sense. And so like this curved piece here, let's see if I can show you on the camera. So if I were to take this part off, you see how it's straight? So that's what I plan to use on the top of my head. And then for the side, because you want to have a little bit of a taper, I would use, and I'll tell you what, these things don't feel all that sturdy. For the side, I would use this to kind of blend the side in with the top. And then on the side, I would then find like the right length for the side. So I think it's hard to screw it up, because it's always going to cut to the same depth. So I don't think there's a lot of margin. I think there's some margin for error here in that it's designed not to chop all of your hair off. At least that's my assumption. And like I said, I've been doing some heavy-duty research on this. And people that use them love them. I found some guys that have been using these things for years. They're kind of like the frugal types like myself, you know, like, yeah, I can cut my own hair, it's going to be fine. And it looks like that's the case. Oh, there's a manual in here. Let's have a look at that real quick before we go to the next thing. So let's see what the manual says. And I'll tell you what, the fact that they haven't changed this product in like forever, it's got to tell you something, right? Here, let me zoom in on the manual so you can get a better shot here. Beats a Bubba wants to know what he missed. Well, we have just unboxed the Flowbee, and I'm going through the instructions real quick. So they also have their own vacuum for the Flowbee, but you can use any vacuum with it. All right, okay, so this is what they say. Familiarize yourself with the spacers. They are the key to a great-looking haircut. Each spacer has 2 tabs and 2 slots to enter a lock. Practice putting them together and taking them apart. Okay, so then they're showing you, here, I'll show you if I can get it up higher there. So you can get a feel when you see how that spacer works, because that's going to, so what will happen there is it will cut to the top of the spacer, because that's where the blades are going to be. So that is, see, and this guy, like, he looks good, I think, you know. And the big ends of the cutter, of course. See, I want a mustache like that. That's what I would love to have. And then I could have my wife, like, run, see, she would love to cut my hair off with this thing. And you have to bounce it up and down. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so I've got to do a little more research on this just to make sure I get the whole thing figured out. But I do miss going to my barber. And someone asked about women. So there's a men's style section here. And I'm kind of closest to that guy, so maybe, yeah, I gotta do a little bit more research here. And then they have some guides for women. Yeah, we'll see how it does. And this is, you know, this is a matter of desperation here, folks, because I can't go to my barber right now. And I am, like, my hair is not doing great. It never does great to begin with, but right now it's like, it's a struggle. The struggle is real. All right, I turned on something by accident down here, so let me just turn this off real quick. Okay. All right, so there you go. That's the Flowbee. That's going to be some fun. All right, next thing. Let's do the computers. So let's grab 2 computers here. Let me show you the one that just came in yesterday, and then we'll go from there. All right, I also want to just add this was a long run on our recorder, so I'm just checking every recording to see if we had any drop frames. Here we recorded, let's see, we had, oh, did it not record the whole thing? Let's see, this one went for, nope, 5 minutes, 9,000 frames, no drop frames, perfect. So we'll go back to my drive here, and we'll just rename that to for Flowbee. And I can just add it to my, you don't see what I'm doing here, but I'm just, oops, oh, I see, I can just drag it in there too. How about that? So edit items, and we'll just add, oops, add Flowbee. I'm just going to make sure the recording stuck. And yeah, looks like it worked. Okay, perfect. All right, let me see what we got for messages here. Cedar Lake says, that thing looks frightening. Yeah, I am scared of it. I will tell you that. But here's the thing, once you start with the Flowbee, you're committed to the Flowbee. You can't stop it, because you're in. Because your hair is going to be all out of whack if you don't. Yeah, it's going to be good. And if it doesn't work out, maybe I should get some clippers and just have those in case. So, Fledison said I should sacrifice my kids' hair for this experiment. My kids would kill me. Because both of my girls, they have long hair, and they do not want. They're not going to get near that thing. WDTV Khan, oh, hey, my friend Khan is here. He says, What could possibly go wrong? A lot will. So Jeff Jones bought a wall haircutting kit and then an extra long number 12 1.5 guide comb. Works pretty good, but does take some time to ensure that all the hair is cut. Yeah, that's the other thing. He does see how a vacuum would speed things up. Yeah, I think that's really it. It's a real efficient thing. And if you think about it, if you got into the habit of using the Flowbee like every 2 weeks, you would never, like it would just, like you would set that little riser up, you get it to where you want it to be, and then and you're good. Con says, once you go Flowbee, there's no going back. And I think he's right about that. Like I said, go and research the reviews of the Flowbee. You will not find anyone who speaks ill of the Flowbee. And I think they've cracked the code of that. All right, so our next item is a Dell laptop that got to me yesterday. And Recipe Bob says, shave it off one of these days. So I'm actually grateful that I have this is all my hair, I have my grandfather had a full head of hair like this too, and I'm grateful for it because my father's bald. My other grandfather was bald. I think I got that side of the family for hair. And so far it looks like I didn't get my father's hair, which is good, but my father's side of the family has like no cholesterol problems, like super good cholesterol levels on both the good and the bad, and I got that, so I'm happy with that. Okay, we're going to go and do this next one. All right, so let's hit my recorder. 3, 2, 1. All right, the next item. Actually, I probably need to do my disclaimer on the Flowbee. 3, 2, 1. And by the way, I paid for that Flowbee with my own funds, and hopefully I won't regret it. This next item came in on loan from Dell, as you can see. And let's take a look at what they sent us. We're going to have a full review of this soon on the main channel, this one. And this is, by the way, I kind of know what it is already. This is the new XPS 13 that just came out. So I saw these at CES. And I was like, oh, I hope I can get one of these to review. And they just reached out to me to say they've got them. So they sent one to me. And we'll be taking a look at it. Now, this has the 10th generation Intel chip. I believe this is an i7. And they've really improved the graphics. I'm trying not to destroy their box here as I unbox this. This is one of these review units. It's probably been sent to 1 million people already. So the new Intel graphics are really improving the base level GPU stuff. So you're actually able to do a little bit of gaming on these now. So I'm eager to see how, we've seen a few of these already. I'm eager to see how the new XPS 13 stacks up. Because one of the things that you run into is how each of these companies decides to handle the thermals on these. When do you start throttling? How loud do you make the fans? So there often is a difference in performance on these devices. So let's peel the plastic off here. Feels very nice. I've always liked the newer Dell designs, and this one feels pretty nice and solid. It's all metal. It's got a nice cool to the touch. We'll take a look and see what else is in the box here in a second, but let's open it up on the desk and see what it looks like. So there you go. Very attractive. This is the white one. I think they've got a few other colors as well. But really nice. Again, we'll have the full review soon, so we'll get into depth as to exactly what it can do and not do. What's nice, too, is that they managed to get the webcam back up on the top. So some of the prior Dell XPSs we've looked at had it down on the bottom. And the bezels on this are super thin across the board. It really looks good. What's great is that you can now get, this is the 13, you can get a 13-inch display into like a 12-inch form factor now, because once you make those bezels thinner, you're good to go. I am seeing a bit of screen bleed down here in the left-hand corner. And it is a touch display too. That's pretty cool. Let's see what resolution the display is before we get into some of the other hardware here. It looks like this is a 1900 by 1200 display. And then for ports, we've got a Thunderbolt on this side. It looks like a micro SD card reader there, and another Thunderbolt port. And then you got a headphone jack. Cool stuff. Very, very nice. And it's not fanless, of course, because these are running with the regular Intel chips here. So yeah, good stuff. We will have a full review of this very soon on the channel. Other stuff in the box here, it looks like you've got your power cable, you've got a USB-C charging cable, and then the power adapter, which is not very big. So that's it. I think this is probably like a 45 watt power adapter. So this should work fine with just about any docking station that you can find out there. The Thunderbolt docking stations, if you have a Thunderbolt-equipped computer, are often the best to go with, just because you don't have the bandwidth limitations. So that might be a good thing to take a look at. So stay tuned. More to come on the Dell XPS 13. Okay. It's an attractive computer. Let's see, I missed a couple of chats here, so let me scroll back up a little bit. Got some discussion about waxing heads. So I never thought we would have those discussions on this channel, but you know, desperate times, desperate times. Let's see, who else is... Yes, the Retro Reloaded says, that's when you won't see me on videos. Right, we'll just do the overhead shot from here on out. Amda Brown wants to know, do I disinfect my packages before bringing them inside? I probably should do something about that. We've had a quarantine area where we kind of let the packages sit before we bring them in. So I think the bigger concern would be touching the face or the eyes versus breathing anything in. So I have not been that diligent with it. You know, even though I tested negative for the COVID antibody, given the story that I read in the paper today, or on American Public Media, I'm beginning to wonder if I did have something, because I got back, I was sick, everybody around me got sick after that. I mean, who knows? But, you know, part of me just wants to get it and just be done with it. Because that's, unfortunately, that's all we've got right now. It's just, it's just, there's no vaccine. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it's just going to be that. So we'll see what happens. Roman wants to know, a new version of Ubuntu just came out in time. Oh, good. So I'll grab that before I start reviewing stuff. AJ Horning says he's a gamer. His main gaming laptop is a Lenovo IdeaPad, which used to be his brother's. I know it's dated, but it still runs great. And you know what? If you have something that works, you're good to go. And if you've got a laptop with, if you have a laptop with Thunderbolt, you've got a lot of options on the gaming side, because you can install an external GPU, or hook up an external GPU to it, and you've got a lot of graphical options that you wouldn't have had otherwise, and it'll certainly extend the lifespan of the laptop. The challenge, of course, is that you have to be near that external GPU in order to make use of it. I have one over there. We have it hooked up to my Mac Mini over there, which we don't use often, the GPU, but it does work great. Thunderbolt in, boom. You can buy, so what you do is you buy the enclosure, and you go out and you buy a GPU, pick whatever one you want, pop it in the enclosure, and now you've got a GPU. It's amazing, but it's got to be Thunderbolt. You can't do it with a USB-C device. So that's one thing to be aware of. All right, I'm just going to check that last clip and make sure that that came out okay. And we'll add XPS 13 to the mix. And let's take a look at that. But to answer the earlier question about the viruses and stuff, I do thoroughly wash my hands after handling things. And I've done that before anyhow. I've always been paranoid about germs. So yeah, I don't think you have as much of a risk of breathing in something from the box as you do touching something and then your face. Yeah, good stuff. We will have a full review of this very soon on the channel. Okay, good. I'm going to end there, and then we'll pick it back up on me. Perfect. Even within vMix, the workflow of just checking clips is faster for me. It's easier to rename stuff for editing. It's just, like I said, I've been really pleased, because what I said to myself was, now that I figured it out, like I understand the concept of vMix and how it works, and now that I understand it, I said, I'm going to spend the week using nothing but vMix, and I've got it running right now. So this whole stream, everything we're doing here is on my gaming laptop, the Lenovo Y740 with the 2080. And what I have set for a goal for myself is that if I can get through the week using just this, then I'm going to go the vMix route for the upgrade of my production hardware. And what's great about going with vMix is that I can take, my TriCaster Mini is portable, but vMix you can run on any PC that can run it. So you've got that portability factor. I have all these profiles built. It works with NDI, so my camera right now is going into the computer via the network. Works great. The streaming's working great. I think the stream on YouTube looks a little better, to be honest, and it's been really, really good. So if this all works out, we'll have a live stream in the next couple days of me picking out the hardware. We're going to buy it all on Amazon, and we'll find what's available. What I want to get is a case that's super quiet, because I don't want to have a lot of fan noise in the production, and just bring it in. And what's been interesting is that the GPU on this laptop, again, is the 2080 Max-Q. And what's funny is that even it's so low like what I'm doing here to switching cameras, even some of the 2-up stuff, it doesn't tax the computer. Like the fan rarely kicks on that computer. It's amazing like how this thing has been working. So I've been really, really happy with it. And I think what it is that, you know, vMix wasn't available, at least in the quality that it is now, when I bought the TriCaster in 2014. But for what I do, I don't need something super high-end. I need something that works, and this is working. It's working really well. See, we got a couple other comments I missed here. I always like to have some good commenting, going back and forth. Wow, we're at 51 minutes already. How many we got watching? 159. Excellent. So AJ upgraded the laptop from 6 to 16 gigs. Yeah, RAM upgrades are really important for gaming laptops for sure. Have I noticed a lot of Flood of Sins? Have I noticed a lot of TV manufacturers are pricing a lot of their TVs at $1,200? I think there's a price point that they must do some research. The consumers say we're willing to pay X, or a TV priced at X will get someone who owns a TV, owns a 5-year-old TV to upgrade. I'm sure there's like a magic price point. Now, we looked at a 4K TV recently, that Hisense one, that is decent. $700, 65, not bad. Roman says a lot of game developers target older hardware too to maximize. Absolutely, they always target that, especially on if you look at Android games, perfect example, because there's a lot of high-end Android stuff, but not a lot of high-end Android games, right? Well, that's part of the deal. Jason Howe wants to know the specs on the XPS. It is a i7 I think it's a 1065 G7. I don't believe you can upgrade the RAM. I think you can upgrade the NVMe. I always look for that before the review, so I will double check, but I don't believe the RAM is upgradable. It feels too thin to be upgradable. Oops, what did I just do? Hit the wrong button. Hang on, folks. I'm missing some chats here. I want to get the rest of these chats in and then start or continue unboxing here. Oops. What did I do? I lost you all. Hang on a second. Let me get this back up. And we'll continue onward. And I think my little 12-inch MacBook is going to have to get nuked and paved soon. It's starting to feel a little sluggish. So I'm going to probably just reinstall everything on it. All right, let's go. All right, almost there. I'm just resetting for my next shot here. So Spike Blighty wants to know, what is vMix? Best way to describe vMix is that it's kind of like a commercial version of OBS. So it's not open source. You got to pay for it. But it's super rock solid. And I've been following it for a couple of years now, or at least a year or two. And a lot of the professional streamers are using it. And a friend of mine does streaming for network TV. He uses vMix to route everything. It's just, it's amazing. I can spend, we did this the other night, we spent about a good hour and a half just playing around with vMix the other night. It's got so many neat features. You can bring in video from all these different sources and switch it all live like I do with the TriCaster. Basically, I'll put it this way. For $60 for the software, and then you need a computer with an NVIDIA GPU essentially to get the most out of it. With those two components, so theoretically, you could go out and buy, a $700 laptop or even get a used one for less. 700 plus 60, 760, you've got what a TriCaster for $6,000 would have done for you back in 2014. Kind of give you an idea of that. And I've been happy with what I've been using with the TriCaster for a while, but I'm having some glitches. It's starting to get up there. It's 6 years old, so I had to do something to upgrade. All right. And Mark is here. He's got his, so Mark is the guy, if you look at Mark's Custom Puzzles, Mark is my friend who lives up the road. We did that live streaming on the cheap with OBS with him, so he just got some more cameras into his rig there, so it's good stuff. Amda Brown asked me a question. At the end of the month, can you show us how your watch minutes are up or down? I will take a look at that. I think I am up, I'm about where I usually am around the holiday season. But as you know, I've been doing a lot more on Amazon, and I've been seeing a lot of traffic there too. So it's definitely up to holiday level. And you might be hearing some YouTubers complaining about their CPMs being down, the amount of ad revenue they're getting. So there is definitely a decline right now in ad rate. However, I'm not seeing it on my channel. This is the time of the year when I've always had the least amount of ad revenue from YouTube because it hits the lull in this quarter. And I'm doing a little better than I usually do at this time of the year. And I think it's because I am talking about things that people need right now to do work at home. So we're looking at all the webcams, all the stuff that I've reviewed over the last 3 or 4 years is relevant now when you're at home. And I think that's been driving a lot of my traffic. Mark Bollinger asks, have you looked at running RetroArch on the NVIDIA Shield? I have played with it. I know a lot of people that do. And actually, ETA Prime would be a good channel to check out if you're looking to get into that. I've become, how like the PC gamers like talk about how they're the master, whatever. I am becoming that way about my emulation, and I'm like all about the Mister. Like the Mister is it. And I got some new hardware for the Mister coming in. I can't wait. So we're going to have more Mister stuff coming up very soon. All right, another laptop. Let's get this one unboxed so we can. I have so much stuff to unbox here, and we're like not even halfway through it. 3, 2, 1. All right, this next item is. Did I cut the last? Hang on a second. Where did I cut that last? All right, we'll come back on me. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, we've got yet another laptop to unbox. Let's take a look at this one. This is from Lenovo, and this is a budget-minded ThinkPad. Now, typically the ThinkPads, let me get the box out of here, the ThinkPads are usually expensive business laptops, but this one is a lower-priced device that's on loan from Lenovo, by the way. This is the ThinkPad L13, and these start at much more reasonable prices. You can get these for probably in the $500 or $600 range, I believe. And let's take it out of the box and see what it looks like. I did check on this one before I started the video today. This one is not upgradable on the RAM. I don't believe that Dell we looked at is upgradable on RAM either. But you can upgrade the storage if you want to take it apart. And this is it. Now this is a Yoga, and of course with Lenovo, Yoga means it's a 2-in-1. It feels nice. It's all metal. I mean, for a budget-minded laptop, it feels nice and sturdy here. So we've got, let's take a look at the ports, and then we'll look at the keyboard and stuff. Power switch, SD card slot, USB 3, full-size HDMI out, Kensington lock. On the other side, we've got, I believe this is USB-C. Not Thunderbolt, but you got 2 USB-C ports here. These are full service ports, so I believe it will do display and data. We'll make sure of that when we do the full review. Next to it is one of these custom ports that Lenovo has for network, so that's what that one is. And then you've got another USB 3 port here and a headphone jack. And then because this is a ThinkPad, you have 2 options for pointing your mouse maneuvers. You've got your trackpad here. This is a click pad. And then you have the little nub thing here as well. It's been on ThinkPads forever. And then you've got the ThinkPad keyboard, which are among the best in the business. You got a lot of travel on this. It feels nice and sturdy and rugged. So if you're looking for, a ThinkPad at a lower price, this is probably going to be the lowest priced option out there, especially on a 2-in-1. And by the way, it is a touch display too, because it is a 2-in-1. It can kind of go into tablet mode like so. So we'll have more on this very shortly on the main channel, this one, very soon. And this has got a 10th generation i5, and I think they've got i7s out there as well for it. So pretty cool looking, pretty sturdy feeling. Feels like a ThinkPad, but it's not expensive like some ThinkPads are. So that will be a fun one to check out later on here on the channel. All right. I think that was good. So what's next? I'm just looking through my list here of stuff. I think we'll do some of the quick ones. So we've got one at the end that might take a little bit longer. So I think we'll do the headset next. That one's super quick. And let me go to here. This is the ThinkPad. And I'm just going to check my log real quick, make sure we didn't have any drop frames there. Nope, perfect. I love it when things work, because that's rare around here. And we just add to the playlist. Just want to make sure it came out okay, so we'll click onto here and just 3, 2, 1. Another laptop to unbox. Let's take a look for a ThinkPad at a lower price. This one, it's not expensive like some ThinkPads are, so that will be a fun one to check out later on here on the channel. Okay, I'm happy with that. And we'll just put this over here for now. That'll keep Jake busy. So Jake picks up laptops and drops them off. That's our routine, because we got to keep ourselves socially distanced. This is not an essential business, so there you go. Flood of Sin says, have you tried StreamYard? I know a lot of people that are using StreamYard. I haven't, just because I don't like to pay subscription fees for things I don't need to pay subscription fees for. But I am looking at, I might look at using Amazon S3 for multiple. They have a service that will take an inbound stream and then send it out to multiple places. So I'm looking at that as a possibility. Because when I do the stream with the Flowbee, my friends on Facebook want to see it. So I need to get it to Facebook, to Amazon, and to here. So that's going to be that'll be the routine there. All right. And it looks like I just got more stuff delivered. My thing just went off. But that might be stuff for the kids. We've been ordering, we are trying really hard not to leave the house, so we've been ordering all sorts of stuff from Amazon and other places. We're doing groceries too. We don't get Amazon grocery delivery here. So, all right, let me go see who I'm missing here. Just looking through some comments here. New Worleton got an Acer Spin 1. He's having a good experience with it. It's great to hear. I always love when people have, like, they see the review and it accurately defines what their experience is. That makes me feel good. So I try to make sure that I can get things accurate as possible. Londog is here. Hello. AJ Horning says, my ThinkPad L390 has a touch screen as well, except it is a laptop and has a matte. Yes, I reviewed one of those a while back. They do have matte touch displays, which are really nice. Mark says, my videos look much sharper today than usual. Yeah, I think that's due to the vMix. I think it's doing a better job. All right. Rob says he would argue that I am an essential business. I would think so. But you know what's nice about what I do is that I don't have to, and this has been the thing, is that what's been tough for me, just in general, is that my lifestyle for the last 3 years has been working out of the house. And I've been doing things to get out of the house because I need that. I am kind of like one of these extroverted introverts where I can do really well by myself and I like to work by myself, but I also like to be around people and I like having interactions with people. So I've been doing things during the course of the last 3 years to get out of the house every couple of days and do things and see people. And that's what's been hard for me, is not being able to get that interaction with my friends and associates and stuff. So that's been tougher. But as far as productivity is concerned, I think we've been doing okay. In fact, I pretty much have everything. Like I I try to do 4 videos a week. We have the wrap up on Monday and then 3 other videos. And I'm already done with that for the week. So I'm feeling good about that. All right, so this might be, you know what, now we're not going to do the mini review now, just because I have to get audio samples and that sort of thing there. I'm just going to undo the top here. But this is a low-cost headset. And right now, like, all this stuff is so hard to get because it's all selling out so quickly. Webcams, headsets, and this is like a great one because it's a very low-cost headset. 2-year warranty. How about that? Free tech support. HyperX. This is the Kingston brand. I see them at these shows I go to all the time. This one came in from the Amazon Vine program, so I need to mention that. All right. Glone has never seen my live stream. Well, welcome. And the first one of his favorite one was the HD Home Run Prime. I did those many years ago. In fact, they have just announced a new ATSC 3.0 tuner, which is on Kickstarter right now. Let's see. Mark, yes, we're using vMix now, giving it a shot. Greg goes out shopping, grocery shopping once a week. Yeah, we've been using one of those delivery things, just because I'm just trying to keep my wife has like a mild asthma, so I've been really nervous about her going out someplace if we don't have to. So we've been trying to do as much delivery as we can. We do have masks though, so we're covered with those if we need to. Recipe Bob is a respiratory therapist. That is definitely essential right now. Jeff Jones wants to know if I tried Livestream Studio 6. No, I've not. And the reason why I haven't is that everybody I talk to, it's either TriCaster or vMix, and it's about budget. So if your budget is where it needs to be, like I'm telling you, this software is I mean, it is rock solid. I say that now, and then it's going to poof on me. But I'm bringing in this video on NDI. This one is coming in over USB. It looks fine. It comes in from one of my same camera I've been using, but it's all been good. So my plan is to build a production computer. I have a GTX 1080 from my prior gaming PC. When we did that upgrade to the 2080 Ti, that GPU was available now, so I'm going to use that. vMix really likes NVIDIA GPUs. It renders everything on the GPU, and it does all the encoding on the GPU as well. So yeah, Spike Blighty says it looks better. I'm actually, and this is the exact same bit rate that I usually do. So, and I think it might be something related to how YouTube interprets it, because the Amazon video has always been looking better than the YouTube version. All right. So Mike has a Yoga X1. Those are great. Very lightweight. AJ Horning wants to know if I tried South Park: The Stick of Truth. Yes, I have that game. I haven't played it. I need to, you know what I need to do just for my own. I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing with my daughter. We've been having fun with that. And she's learning about banking through Animal Crossing because she wants to make her house bigger, but she has an outstanding loan with Tom Nook. Tom Nook's like, hey, you can't expand your house. So Kira's like, well, I just need to give him more money. I said, well, you gotta make money to give him money. So I built a peach orchard on my island because my island is an apple island. But if you have peaches, you get like I think you get like $5 grand for each bushel of peaches that you knock off your tree. So I'm gonna have her go out and do some chores. She can keep 10% of the peaches. I get the rest of them. That's how it's gonna work. All right, let me just check one thing here, and we'll get to this next one. All right. Maybe I should just try the audio quality on these real quick. Because I'll take out, let me take out that Dell here. Theoretically, I could plug this into the PC. But you know what, let's do it on here, and then I can just listen to it. Because theoretically, I could plug this in, depending on the length of the cord, right into the computer that I've got hooked up here. That'd be a quick and easy way to get the audio sample. We can just do the review right now. This is really more of an extras channel thing anyhow. Maybe we'll do that. All right, so let's get this backed up to, okay, so we're gonna come back on me. All right, 3, 2, 1. This next item came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. This is a very reasonably priced headset from HyperX. At the moment, it's out of stock on Amazon, but it's very well reviewed, and it looks like something that's pretty decent. This is called the Cloud Stinger Core, and it's a pretty basic gaming headset. It's got a microphone on it, of course, and you've got some pretty, looks to be pretty comfortable ear muffs here, so we'll check that out and see how it works. It's got a couple of little twist ties here that keep it locked into its plastic case, and we'll see what happens. I believe I mentioned this came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. So let me put this on my head real quick and see. Yeah, I tell you, it really isolates out a lot of sound. I'm not hearing as much around me. I got to do a full review of these to get a good sense as to the audio quality. And I'll cut over to my other shot here. You've got a good amount of adjustability on the microphone here, so you can kind of bend it to where you want it to be, so that's good. That's nice to see. This is not a USB headset. This is your standard 1/8-inch connector here. So this will work with pretty much any laptop or tablet that supports the microphone and headphones on the single cable, and most do these days. And then it's got a little control here, so you can control the volume and mute. So you got that. Not bad. Yeah, it feels okay. It doesn't feel super premium. You know, there's a lot of cushion on the earmuff here. I'm going to have to wear this for a little bit to get a feel for how well it does over a longer period of time. But it's not as soft, perhaps, as some of the more expensive headsets might be. But again, I think this goes for $25 or $30. So for that price point, I'm not expecting all that much, and it feels pretty good for what it is. So we'll have more on this. This will probably show up on the Extras channel in a couple of days. I'll give you my impressions of its audio quality, and then we'll do a mic test on it as well. And this will be one of those things where you often got to find the right combination of mic distance and audio settings on your particular hardware settings in your audio recorder or on your Skype or whatever you're using, because oftentimes if you get the microphone too close, you really start peaking out. So just get it in the right spot, and you're good to go there. This should work again with any PC. It'll also work with game consoles if you've got that 1/8-inch connector on your controller. More to come on this very soon. All right, let's add that to our list of footage here. And I'm missing a bunch of chats here, folks. I'm sorry, I've been... So Imran bought one of these. Audio quality is very good, and the mic is interesting. It's noise canceling too, huh? How about that? We'll take a look. Yes, this works with the PC, the Xbox, the Switch. Although on the Switch, you got to get it. See, what's nice about the Xbox is you can plug it into the controller because it's a wireless controller. You won't be able to do that on the Switch. That's the one thing that bugs me about the Switch. I love my Switch, though. I use that more than the Xbox for sure. All right, so let me go. What time is it? Oh, it's only 3:46. Okay. All right, let's just take a quick look at that footage. And I'll check my log here. I'm just looking at, I should show you what I'm doing again. Let me pull that up so you can see what I'm doing when I'm clicking around. And I couldn't do this on the TriCaster either. I couldn't give you this before, so you couldn't see what I'm doing. So we're going to go into the logs, and then I can just pull up the log here. Again, what I'm looking for, and this is early days with this software, so I'm just checking to make sure that every frame that I gave it was recorded, and it was. And by the way, we're streaming out at the same time we're doing this recording too, so all good. And we're just going to add, this is like a little playlist thing. I like to just queue up the things that I'm shooting so that when I'm looking at where I want to have my next shot go, I can figure out where I want it to be. So let's go over here, and that will get that going. And 3, 2, 1. This next item came in and easily get it in the right spot, and you're good to go there. This should work again with any PC. It'll also work with game consoles if you've got that 1/8-inch connector on your controller. More to come on this very soon. All right. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to shoot later. Like today, if I have time. These are easy. They're easier to shoot. The hard part with headphone reviews is that you have to be able to describe what you hear, because there's no way that the viewer will be able to experience that. So that's one of the trickier things. All right, let's do some Mocha now. I've got two Mocha things of interest here. There's been a lot of Mocha development lately, and I don't know what's going on with it because we had no Mocha 2.5, and now we've got a lot of Mocha 2.5. All right, let's see. I'm just looking at some of the chats here. Lon.TV says, when it comes to SSD memory types, do you place a high priority on SLC versus MLC? SLC can be hard to find. Yeah, I think if you are running a server, you want the SLC, but it's harder to come by now because it's not as readily available. And I think a lot of and basically what this describes is, if I remember it correctly, it's how many cells are shared on a SSD. And now they're doing like these 3D things where the flash cells are actually physically stacked on top of each other, microscopically, I guess, of course. I think the memory is getting a lot more reliable. And I think what they're doing on the server side, here, let me go show you one of these other drives I got. But what they've been doing is they're rating these for NAS use, which typically wouldn't have, oh, I'm offline, what happened now? I don't know what you missed, but there was a question about SLC versus TLC versus MLC. So what Seagate is doing with their Iron Wolf NAS drives is, I think these are TLC drives, which normally would be like the least expensive kind of solid state drive you can get. But they're over provisioning them, so you get a lot more cells, and therefore they're confident rating these for NAS usage. So I haven't done much with these yet. I've got a whole stack of them because I've been getting in all these NAS devices from Seagate or from various companies, from Synology and others, and I've been eager to try to see what these do. Now, it looks like my Amazon stream conked out, so I'm going to just restart. I didn't get any comments today on that, but I have a few more things that I think might be of interest to people. So let me just fix this real quick, and we'll come back. Yeah, the Amazon one, the Amazon live stream, it conks out a little quicker than the YouTube will bring you back if you have a glitch. So let me just do a quick little fix here. And part two. And this was not a vMix problem. This was a Comcast problem. All right, I'm just going to do a preview here. It looks like we're still on live here. All right, go live. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we are back on Amazon now. And by the way, I'm going to be back on Amazon tomorrow because I'm getting the iPhone SE in. I bought one. So we'll talk about that as well. And let's go pull up my next device here. Okay. AJ Horning says, call me crazy. I have 21 different computers. I've got a lot of different computers too. All right, so let me just get caught up as to where I last left off. Okay, we're there. We're going to come back on me, and we're going to do some Mocha. And Louis, you're right. You can never have enough computers. That is absolutely the case. All right, so we're going to do the Mocha stuff. Actually, you know what we should do? I'm going to delay that because we have another audio device to do. So let's do this real quick. All right. 3, 2, and 1. All right, next we've got another audio device. This is a Sound Blaster. Now, if you're an old tech guy like me, you had a Sound Blaster card in your computer. I had an 8-bit Sound Blaster ISA card in my 386 back in the day. Creative Labs, of course, is still around, and they're still making Sound Blasters because now they're making some of these higher-end audio devices for your USB port. So if you're not satisfied with your onboard motherboard audio, you can get something like this. And again, we'll have a full review on this one coming soon on the channel. So this Sound Blaster is not a card, but a device. And let's take it out of the box here and see what it's all about. And I am not much of an audiophile, so I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on this to talk about some of the use cases for it. I would imagine this would work well if you're doing audio production. It's got a knob here, which I'm guessing you can configure to do different things. I will probably have mine configured for volume, but of course we'll play around and see what you can do on this. We have a dedicated microphone input and a dedicated headphone output. So that headset we just unboxed would likely not work with this unless you can split the signal out between the two. On the back here, you've got your line out, and it supports surround sound, it looks like. So you've got front, side, rear, and then a subwoofer. You have a line in, you have an optical out, and you've got your USB Type-C that connects to the computer. And one of the things that Creative's been doing with these is having much higher end audio hardware inside of the device. So if you're getting into lossless audio and really want a better quality sound than what your motherboard can provide, this device will do that for you. Let's see what else we got in the box here. I feel a cable in here. Yep, we got a cable here. So this is a USB 3 to USB-C cable. And of course, you could go USB-C to C if you have a USB-C or Thunderbolt port. We got our manual here as well, so we will be playing around with this one quite a bit more in the near future. And by the way, in addition to turning, it's also a clicker too. I wonder if I could use this for video editing too. It'd be nice to have a little shuttle dial on there. This, by the way, came in free of charge from Creative, and again, we'll be having more on this and some of the use cases for it in an upcoming review, so stay tuned. All right, now we'll do the Mocha stuff. And I'm just going to check my logs again. And I need to go back to the Sound Blaster because I totally... All right. Let's check this real quick. Yeah, I'm just so frustrated by how unreliable my home internet connection is. I mean, some days it works great, other days it doesn't, and then I've got the problem of I have the issue related to just how difficult it is to get anything uploaded from my home because of the slow upstream speed. Okay, we're good there. All right. Oh, Brian Parker is here. Welcome, Brian. And one of the things, so I did reach out to Comcast. Actually, they've been reaching out to me because I've been complaining a lot. And they're doing another survey to see if I can get their 2 gigabit service, but I don't think it's going to happen. What kills me, and I said this to them, like, you know, they keep trying. I give them credit for trying. They really want to make this work for me. But I keep telling them, like, look, I got fiber optic. It's at the end of the drive. I could, kid you not, I could go outside with my phone and show you. The fiber optic cable, it is tagged at the end of my driveway, right there. And they can't plug you into it. Just can't do it. I'm willing to pay. Here's my money, take it. I want it. But they can't do it. And I've got a node. The node for my neighbor, or for one of the neighborhoods is at the end of the road, only 700 feet up. So I'm not an expert on this stuff. So, you know, I'm sure there's some reason why it doesn't work, but, you know, it is what it is. All right, let's do the Mocha stuff. And then we have a couple of hard drives to unbox, and then we've got our last item after that. So let me go and pull up the next thing on our list here. Mocha, okay. Excuse me, I need to take a sip of my coffee. So Mark just uploaded a 19-minute video in 13 minutes. That's about what I get, Mark, I think, roughly there. It depends on the resolution. You know, so if I was doing, I could do 4K on my new setup, but it would take twice as long. Typically, like a 20-minute video for me is about 2 gigs output at 1080p. So that usually takes about 25, 30 minutes or so, if nobody else is doing anything. All right, let's take a look here. I'm missing so many chats here, everybody. I'm sorry. All right, let's go to... Yes, Roman says, you've got Mocha and I've got a Mocha. I would love a Mocha. That's the one thing that I love to get at Starbucks is one of those Mocha lattes, and I can't get it. Tam Man, he's running to a meeting. Yes, this will be on the live stream archive at Lon.TV/livestream. So or Lon.TV/live streams you'll have. Recipe Bob gets 30 up. Yeah, I get 12 up. So even if I went to 30, it'd be 3 times as fast. I'm willing to get that. They can't even get that going for me. So AJ Horning's got Chromebooks. He's installed Windows 10 on all of his Chromebooks. Very cool. I got to start playing around more with Chromebook hacking. Ari Weiss wants to know, is the HP Pavilion X360 a good college laptop? I think so. I reviewed that recently, so you should check it out. But yeah, the graphics performance was good. It's got one of those new 10th gen things. Soundman's got gig fiber. Yeah, I'm jealous. Yeah, I'm going to just have to figure it out. At some point, I should just bank up my YouTube earnings and just start my own ISP. I could probably do well. I'm going to go survey the neighborhood. Maybe I can't knock on doors right now, can I? So never mind, I can't do that. All right. Londog says, if the Sound Blaster model has the beam microphone system, I really wish you would test the microphone carefully. I'll check that out. Newer Tolan has some packing to do. He's moving. All right, cool. Check him out. Yeah, no, this is like, I like to live stream now just because it's fun to invite you into my workspace during the day. And I'm a little caught up on content for this week, so I thought it might be fun to get some of these little things unboxed here. And it should be good. By the way, speaking of audio, the NVIDIA on the RTX GPU, this is so crazy. The RTX GPUs have a new feature for blocking out unwanted audio while you're speaking. And I watched Barnacules yesterday do something with it. It's amazing. I have to play with that. I have an RTX on this laptop here, so that's something that we might look at. Okay. Yes, be safe. Thank you, Niwarlatan. Jeff Jones says, have they explained why they can't plug you into the fiber optic? Yes, so what they said to me was that I was too far from they have some municipal switching device that's what they can plug you into, and I'm too far from that, for whatever that means. All right, let's go and do this. 3, 2, 1. All right, these next 2 items are Mocha devices, and if you are not familiar with Mocha, it is a way of extending your network connection throughout your home using your cable TV wiring. These are compatible with your satellites and your cable TV. And so if you have cable TV service or satellite service, these will work alongside of it. It's really pretty cool stuff. Now I've got 2 things here. One is super inexpensive. Maybe we'll start with that one. So you might have been seeing on Amazon, there's a bunch of listings for these super low-cost Mocha devices, and I neglected to add it to my Amazon list on the Amazon stream. But these are often selling for under $20 or from Action Tech. And what these do is basically allow you to extend your network, your internet, to other rooms, again, through the cable TV. So what you do, you need to have 2 devices. You need a Mocha device near your router. You plug that into the router and then plug the cable TV wire into it. We've done a lot on Mocha here on the channel, so if you go to Lon.TV/Mocha, you can see all of the background as to how this works. And then you would take this unit and put it someplace else in the house and then connect the cable TV wiring to here. And once you do that, you will get Wi-Fi out of this. So you can extend your Wi-Fi, again, over the cable TV wiring. And then you've got 2 Ethernet jacks on the back of this that you can also plug things into. Now this is a Mocha 1.0 device, which means that it's a maximum of 100 megabits. But if you don't have a super fast internet connection, if you only have like 10 or 15 megabits up like I have, this would probably work fine for most folks to just get better, more reliable internet into different parts of your home. So we'll have a review of this one. Again, super affordable. And there's a bunch of these that are still being sold on Amazon. I think they're like leftover stock from cable operators. Super easy to install though. And again, check out my other Mocha videos for some background on that. Now the next item, by the way, I paid for this with my own funds. The next item is something that came in from Translite. I believe they're loaning this to me, so I will probably be sending this back to them when we're done. This is what's called a Mocha 2.5 device. And this is something that is a little faster than what we just looked at. And what these do is same concept here, is you plug your cable TV wiring in, and then you've got two Ethernet ports here you can make use of. But these are faster on the backbone. So while the other one only does 100 megabits over the coax, these do 2.5 gigabits. And this kit comes with two, so you can put one near your router and then put another one in the other part of the house that you want to extend internet to. These, though, do not have Wi-Fi built in, but you can easily plug in a Wi-Fi access point into one of these things and be ready to go with it. We looked recently at another pair of these devices from a company called Go Coax. Those were also 2.5 gigabits, but they only had one Ethernet connector. This has two. And when we review these a little later in the week here, we'll test the speed to make sure we can get the full 2.5 gigabits going through those coax cables. But these are probably the best way to extend your network. They are a little less simple than some of the other network extension devices out there because there's a little bit you have to learn about how the technology works before you can really get going with it. But once you understand the concept, these things are great and really probably the best way to extend your network around the house if you don't want to run regular Ethernet cabling. So stay tuned, more to come on these. All right, hopefully that made sense to everybody. All right, so let me get that clip logged. And we'll be good there, so we'll say 9. This is Mocha devices. All right, so let me go add an item there. And let's make sure that came out okay. All right, these next two items are two. And when we review these a little later in the week here, we'll test the speed to make sure we can get the full 2.5 gigabits going through those coax cables. But these are probably the best way to extend your network. They are a little less simple than some of the other network extension devices out there because there's a little bit you have to learn about how the technology works before you can really get going with it. But once you understand the concept, these things are great and really probably the best way to extend your network around the house if you don't want to run regular Ethernet cabling. So stay tuned, more to... All right. All right, this is the last... We have three more things to do. Two of them are in here, and then we've got one more thing. Okay. The last one's going to be fun, I think. We'll see. Okay, next. Let me get this partially opened up here. Yeah, sorry, I was just playing back the video on the echo. It's okay. I was just playing back the video. It was coming back in through my mic. Okay. Yeah, no, I think, hopefully that wasn't the case. Let me play that back again. I'm going to turn my mic off. You'll hear it echo on these. So what, you'll hear it echo now. But these are faster on the backbone. So while the other one only does 100 megabits over the coax, these do 2.5 gigabits. And this kit comes with two, so you can put one near your router and then put another one in the other part of the house that you want to extend internet to. These, though, do not have Wi-Fi built in, but you can easily plug... Yeah, that was just my mic echoing back because I was playing it back through the monitor here just to make sure it was a good take. So, okay. All right, so now, let me just figure out where I last left off on this. Okay, there we go. All right, so next one, we've got these Sabrent drives, and one is Thunderbolt and one is USB-C. So one will be faster than the other. All right. I got so much stuff. 3, 2, 1. All right, this next item, or 3, 2, 1. So these next items are a couple of hard drives that came in free of charge from Sabrent. They've been making a lot of these lately. So we've got two that look the same, but they are different in their interfaces. These are Rocket Pro drives. They got nice metal cases here. Now, both of these are NVMe solid state drives, which means they're super fast, but one is going to be faster than the other. So we've got one that has USB-C, and the other one is Thunderbolt 3. So the Thunderbolt one is going to be faster because this one's going to max out at around 10 gigabits per second for its theoretical transfer rate through the port. This one can go up to 40 megabits, or gigabits, excuse me, per second. 40 gigabits? No, what am I saying? I got to do that again. It is gigabits. Let me start that again. Let's see, now I'm getting tired. Once you hit like 4 o'clock with me, I'm done. So AJ, I missed your chat about the Acer Chromebook. So let me know what you got there. We're just going to reset this unboxing, or this unbagging. Okay, let's try this again. All right. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Now these next two items came in from Sabrin, and they're going to look the same, but they are quite different. These are Rocket Pro drives, and these came in free of charge from the company, by the way. Now you'll notice one has Thunderbolt, and the other one is USB Type-C. The Thunderbolt drive is likely going to be faster than the USB-C version because Thunderbolt can push 40 gigabits per second over its connection, whereas USB-C, at least this type of USB-C that's on this particular device, will max out at 10. And as such, even though the guts of these drives are likely the same, the speed and the price will be different between the two. The Thunderbolt one, of course, being more expensive. So let me get this opened up here without cutting my hands open, and we'll see what this looks like, and we'll take a look. Now, one of the things with Thunderbolt versus USB-C is that they use the same connector, even though the technology is very different, and that's often very confusing to consumers. Soon, Thunderbolt and USB will kind of merge into this weird thing where USB 4 is going to be Thunderbolt 3, but it's still very confusing, I think. So in any event, here is the drive, a nice metal case. This is the Thunderbolt version. You know it is because it's got that big Thunderbolt icon on there. And although this looks like you could plug it into a USB-C computer, it won't work because it's a different technology. In the bag here, or the box, you get a Thunderbolt 3 cable, which is always good to get. And these cables are pretty pricey on their own, so it's good that they include one here, and you are ready to go with that. We'll have a full review of these and the speed of them coming up soon, so stay tuned. And let's just unbox the other one just for the heck of it and see what we have inside. A little plastic there. I'm going to have to cut a little bit more off. There we go. I do cut away from my hands now. I used to cut the other way, and that was not something the viewers liked. So we'll undo that, and we'll open it up, and there you go. So you can see this one has a little different icon, like their own little logo. But they look the same. So you've got to be really pay attention here when you buy these to make sure you get the right one, because if you look at these things, I mean, they really look the same. But again, this one will work on both a Thunderbolt and a USB-equipped computer, but this one will only work on the Thunderbolt one. So just be aware of that. And then we have a USB cable here. Now, one other thing to note on these is that these USB drives have different speeds depending on which generation of USB they support. So this one is what's called a Gen 2 drive, which means it can support up to 10 gigabits per second if you have the right cable and if it's plugged into a computer that supports that rate of speed. So they do give you the right cables in the box, but if you go out and buy a third-party cable, make sure it's a Gen 2 cable, because you can buy a USB-C cable that only runs at even the old USB 2 speed, which is significantly slower. So you've got to be you really got to pay attention when you're buying these cables. The nice thing, though, in the box here is you've got the USB-C cable, and you've got a USB-C to USB-A cable. So good stuff there. Again, full review coming up on this very soon. All right. Price difference. So the Thunderbolt one is, again, these are the same capacity. The Thunderbolt one is $349, and the USB-C one is $149. So a $200 difference, same capacity. And you get more cables with the other one. So yeah, Thunderbolt is still pricey, but it is the fastest. And I'm using Thunderbolt to record on this laptop right now. All right, so let's rename this to 10 Saber drives. And I just want to check the logs real quick. And yep, no drop frames on that either. Good. All right. Yeah, so if you don't need the Thunderbolt speed, and this is going to be a fun one to review because we can see, assuming that they're running with the same hardware inside. I wonder if we can get into these things easily. Assuming they're running with the same hardware inside, it'll be interesting to see how they perform in comparison to each other. It sounds like, it does sound like the lawnmower guys are here. They haven't been here since the fall. We'll have to see if we have an interruption. It's okay because this is just our live stream here. All right, last thing is this is a fun one. So I bought this telescope for my kids a little while ago. This is one that we saw at CES. This was the Explorer telescope. And what's cool about the Explorer telescope, and actually I can show it to you. Let me pull up my other camera. Is it uses your phone as a star tracker. Now, we're not going to demo that right now, but we are going to demo this thing, which allows you to attach your phone to the eyepiece. So on the Explorer thing, it uses the phone to figure out where it is so you can easily find stuff in the sky. This would allow you to photograph certain things with your phone. Now, it's not going to be perfect because normally, to capture good images on a telescope, you've got to leave the shutter open for a long time, and you've got to move the telescope with the Earth's rotation. So there's probably going to be some limit to what you can capture with this, but I think when we get into times of the year when you can see Saturn, for example, should be able to get some decent images, you know, not perfect or close to Hubble or anything, but fun enough for my kids to get some astronomy going. So I'm eager to try this out. And this apparently will work with more than just telescopes. It'll attach to binoculars and other stuff. So that would be kind of cool. So let me just check my log here. I'm going to add Sabrent drives. Okay. Yeah, the lawnmower guys. See, it's funny, like the minute I'm going to actually pull up the camera and take I was going to put the telescope outside. But I can do that because I'm under the deck here, so we'll just kind of shoot the telescope straight, see if we can pick up anything on it. All right, so let's add a camera, folks. So let me show you how this works. So we're going to go over, again, we're on vMix here, so let me add a desktop capture first so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so now I'm going to pull this up, and we're going to go over to Add Input, and we're going to go to NDI, and we're going to click on my PTZ Optics device here, and there you go. There is the telescope, and where did I put oh, here's the remote. So I have a remote control for it, so I can move the camera around here on the PTZ Optics. And apparently there is a control for PTZ built into vMix, which I haven't played with yet. So I don't even need to use the remote control if I don't have to. But this is the telescope. And what I can do, let me zoom out a little bit more here. Let me just show you how this telescope works, because I'm really excited. We haven't had a good night to use it yet, because the night that I got it was a full moon, and it takes a while for the full moon to run its course. And then the other problem I ran into was that it's been cloudy every night. But what you do is you put the phone inside of this thing, and it will track the location, so you can very easily find things. And then you can move the telescope like this, and you can fine-tune it with this, and you can get yourself kind of locked into what you're looking at. So I'm so excited to use this. Now, this is a Newtonian telescope, and I don't know much about astronomy, so I asked some friends, like, what should I get? Because I have friends that are really into astronomy. And the Newtonians are really where you want to start. That telescope's about $350, so not bad. They have one for $179 that has the star tracker on it, so you could really get started pretty easily. And this was something I wanted to play with related to that to see if we could capture some images. And Russell, I did not look for any shooting stars last night, and I really should have, because I think we had a good clear night. It's cloudy out right now. And what we're going to do here is, let me get that telescope better positioned because I'm going to reference it. What we're going to do here is attach the phone to it. And I should be able to get video out of the phone that we can patch through to our NDI thing. So let's do that real quick here. Yeah, the lawnmower guys, I think, are definitely out there. Let's take a look. Yep, he's out there. But, you know, we're going to be able to do this without disturbing anything because he's going to be far away. Okay. Just going to create some audio problems for me. Okay. I have a pile of tech that I'm stepping over here as I'm coming back down. And now I'm just going to adjust the camera position a little bit more here. And I need to turn the autofocus back on, so let's hit that. There we go. Okay. Zoom in a little bit. And what's nice is that you can control these cameras can be controlled remotely. This is a PTZ optics cam. They sent this to me a while back, and I use it quite a bit. And it's a little dark. I haven't lit that scene over there, so it's a little on the darker side. But okay, so let me go back to where our last clip was. Okay. So start back on me, and I'm going to do this, and then we'll do, okay, I think I know what I want to do now. All right, perfect. So Jeff Jones makes a really good point that, yeah, you see these pictures online of like Jupiter and Mars, and it's very hard to replicate that on one of these for sure. It's not something that you can easily replicate at home. You really, and to get like galaxies and other things, like you really have to have a long exposure. What I'm eager to try though is I have the Google Pixel phone, which has that astrophotography mode. So I'm kind of curious to see how that might work. So what we're going to do in this segment is I'm going to unbox this, and then where did it go? Let's see. And then we will hook it up to the telescope. And then I'm going to point the telescope outside and see if we can capture some video with the phone. So that might be kind of fun. Now these next, so that'd be kind of fun. All right, so let me get this queued up. And I think I want to set up one quick shortcut key here. Bear with me for 1 second. Shortcuts, D5, we're going to change this. So edit, D5, we're going to change to that one. Okay. So now if I hit 5, perfect. Okay. So if I hit 5, I can cue the camera that up real quick. All right. That's exactly what I want. All right. Now I'm ready. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. Okay. So let's pick it up on me. Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff. You know what's funny was that what got me going, I had like a telescope that my wife got me years ago. And we had one, last summer, we had a beautiful night, and Saturn was like super visible, like it was super bright. And we took the telescope out, and my daughter was like ecstatic that she could see Saturn's rings with her own eyes. Like it was amazing, like the reaction that she had to it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to develop this. So that was it. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, one last item to unbox, and this is something that goes with something else. So this is an adapter from Celestron called the NexYZ, and what it allows you to do is attach your smartphone to the eyepiece so you can get images of whatever your binoculars or telescope are picking up. And recently, I bought a new telescope. This is the StarSense Explorer that we saw at CES. It uses your phone as a star tracker, so we're going to have 2 phones to use this, one to take pictures and the other one to track stars. And I haven't had a good night to use it yet, so I'm eager to try it out, but I wanted to get this adapter ready for when we do have a good night so that my daughters and I can start doing some stargazing together, a little astronomy lesson while we're home learning. And this might be a fun way to capture what we're looking at. And what we'll do in a minute here is attach it to the telescope to take a few images outside just to see what it looks like here. So let's take it out of the bag and see how this all comes together. So it looks like you've got a clamp here, And then I guess you just align the eyepiece or the camera of your phone with the eyepiece on the telescope. So let me see how this works. So we're going to just get my phone in here and figure out the whole process. It may just be as simple as just aligning it properly. Yeah, so it might just be getting it kind of aligned with the eyepiece. I got to figure this out a little bit. So let me take some time here to figure out how this actually works, and then we will give this a shot and see what happens. All right, so that was not a good take. Let's see. I probably should read the instructions on this one. Let's take a look at that. And what's cool is we should be able to use my, my NDI. So Jose, this is the, I'll pull it up here for you. This is the StarSense Explorer. And we're going to do something with this telescope in a little bit. Okay, so the clamp, here, let me pull up the instructions here. The clamp goes around the view scope. And then you put the, okay, I see how that works. So this goes around the scope, and then you go from there. So let's get over to the telescope here and see if we can figure this out. So I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. And let's see if we can figure this out real quick without having the phone fall off. And then we'll take it from there. So let me go run over there real quick. And it's funny too how like the YouTube algorithm works related to live streams, because I always have the biggest traffic when you're like an hour into it. And I'm not sure what the right process is here. All right, so what we need to do here, let me just put this eyepiece in. I'm going to, oops, that's the lens cover. That's not a problem. No problem. Let me tighten this up here. And I'm guessing what we need to do is get this clamp around the eyepiece like this. And then I guess you kind of tighten it up. Oh, I see. That's how it works. Okay. So I think what I want to do, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense, actually. This may actually work pretty good. And then you can turn this knob here to get the phone aligned. So you know what we're going to do, folks? This is cool, actually. This is really neat. So I need to get a monitor over here real quick so I can see, so I can actually demo this, because this is neat. So the first thing we're going to do is get some light going here. I got these two lights here that we can use. Let me just get the scene lit, if you will, because that will make it look better. Okay. And then we'll bring it outside and see how it all comes together. So what I need to do first, though, is get an image out of that camera. So I'm going to pull up my, here, I'll show you what I'm doing here. Oops, my PC needs to be repaired. That's not good. All right, we got to come back to this one. Let me get another computer that is working at the moment. How am I going to view this here? I got this one. Hopefully this is the one that's got a charged battery. Let's take a look. So my Surface Go apparently is not working at the moment. That's not good. And let me pull this up real quick. So this is kind of neat. So what we're going to be able to do with this is we should be able to, yeah, battery's dead on this. We should be able to show you, whoops. All right, give me 1 second, folks. I got to just figure out how I'm going to look at what I am shooting. So I think I'll take the Mac with me because I have my viewing app here. And good, we're still on that. So I'm going to go over to my NDI monitor. And I'm just going to select the PTZ optics camera. And I should be able to see it. Yep, there we go. So here's what I'm doing, everybody. Let me cut to my other camera real quick. So I can view that camera on my MacBook. And I'm just going to leave this shot up here, and I'm going to take my keyboard with me. so I can start recording. And I might be able to get the actual output. Let's see. Yeah, I can get that. So I get my output of the, oh, perfect. OK, it's even better. So I can actually look at my heads-up display here. So I'm just going to get my remote. Yes, here's another thing I couldn't do with my TriCaster. I couldn't get my remote view up like this either. So this is really handy. OK, so, oops. Perfect. OK, so I can even switch from here. So the next thing I want to do is just get a better shot here set up so I can show people how this attaches. And let me zoom in. And we're using the remote control. That's pretty cool. And I got another trick up my sleeves here too. So let's get this part done first, and then we can. I'm just trying to get the right angle on this so you can all see exactly how it comes together. Let me zoom out a little bit. I think I might want to get a little more height, or maybe lower this down a little bit. Let me do that. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. So. I'm pretty pleased with this. It's actually the tripod really moves nicely on this scope, so it's very accessible for a newbie like myself. Okay, it's tightened up, I think. Yeah, so now I can just tilt this down a little bit. Oops, a little too far. Now if I hit record here, what happens? So I have no indication of recording. So I may just need to double check that I did hit the record on that, but I can figure that out. All right, so now I'm going to turn this a little bit this way, just to show how it attaches. And there we go. Okay. So I'm going to unclamp it here. And then there's a little screw hole here that you use to loosen that. And let me see how this looks. Okay, so I could probably just turn it. Okay, let's give this a shot. See how it does. Okay, I think I'm recording, so I'm just going to double check that we are in fact recording. So one thing it didn't pass over to me is that it is recording, but we are recording. Okay, perfect. So let's try this out. All right, so let's turn on my Do Not Disturb here. Okay. You know what? I think I want to reattach the phone here too. All right. So 3, 2, 1. All right, so the first thing you do here is bring your phone into the 3, 2, 1. So the first thing you do here is attach your phone to the case. It slides right in like so. And then there's a clamp here, and it may be hard to see, but this clamp is what you clamp onto the eyepiece of your device. So I'm going to attach it to the eyepiece of my telescope. And there's a little tightening thing here that you turn. This orange thing, let me get it on screen there. This orange thing you turn, and that tightens up the clamp and gets it securely attached. So I'm just going to get this locked in like so, and then we can get it in a good spot. Now the next thing we have to do is get the camera on the phone aligned with the eyepiece properly. And what's neat is they have some adjustments here to get the phone lined up. So you've got a left and right here on the bottom, and then the very bottom here is an up and down. So let's change my camera view real quick, and we'll have a look and see if we can get it all aligned. Okay, so now we're going to do something really fun, which is we're going to bring in the camera remotely from the phone with NDI. That should look really cool. So let's try that real quick. And I just want to get the telescope pointed out the window. So let me do that briefly here. We're going to move the camera around, I think. So let me zoom out a little bit. And we'll get the telescope pointed outside so that we can see something with it. And yeah, we should be able to shoot it right through the thing there. So let's get the telescope here aligned. All right, so the next thing, what we're going to do is I want to get my phone to shoot video to you all. So how will we do that? Well, what we're going to do is I'm going to pull the phone out of the thing here, and we're going to do some NDI. So let me go back to my computer screen and set this up real quick. So this is going to require a little bit of extra work, but it's going to be fun when we get it working here. So what I've got, and I'll pull up, and by the way, I'm not seeing the chat at the moment, just because my computer's over there. So I'm going to do the local desktop capture again so you can see exactly what I'm setting up here. So let's go over here, and now on my phone, I'm going to enable my my NDI app on my phone, and that's going to start broadcasting. And now what I can do is add another input, and we're going to add my phone, which should show up here on the list. Yep, Lon's iPhone. And I'm going to hit OK. And to prevent any audio from coming through on the phone, I'm going to need to disable the audio. So we're going to get rid of that and get rid of that. Okay, so now, oh, it just, hang on a second. Let me go start the broadcast again. The problem is when the phone goes to sleep, it drops the NDI connection, so you have to be ready for that. So there we go. So we're going to pull up the NDI. Actually, I don't need to do this. I'm doing the wrong thing. Hang on a second. Let me close the broadcast because we're actually going to use the camera app. So we're going to close that, and I'm going to load up the NDI camera, NDI HX camera. So that's what we want. And I'm going to hit NDI. So there we go. And I'm going to go down to the lower bandwidth. And now I'm going to kill this one. I'm going to add another NDI source. And this time we're going to go back to the HX camera. And there, oops, woo! Feedback, okay. Let me kill the audio on that one too. And we're going to kill that one, and that one. Okay, so now the problem is that the phone, we have to orient the phone differently, but I think we'll be okay. So now what I want to do is set up a 2-up here. So we are going to, my kids are like going nuts upstairs. We're going to go and add a layer, a color layer. So let's just go to color. And when I add this, I'm going to do a 2-up here. So we're going to have, right now it's, here, I'm going to get you that desktop view again. So right now it is blank, but if I go and hit this and go to multi-view, we're going to have a couple different views. So I think I want to show, we definitely want to show the phone. So we're going to have the Lon's iPhone here. And I'm going to zoom this out. And it'll make more sense when it's kind of oriented like this. And I'm going to put that over here. And then I'm going to have another overlay, which will be me and the telescope here. So we're going to pull up the PTZ optics camera. And you'll note that both of these are NDI sources. So they're both coming in over NDI. And so what we should be able to see here in this 2-up is how the, as we adjust the the camera, how do things work here, right? So that's kind of the approach. So let's get that going. And I'll bring my keyboard back over there. And this place is a mess, so don't judge me. And so this will be a kind of an inverted image because I don't know if you can go landscape on this. I guess you probably could, couldn't you? So let's put this into the mounting bracket here. And yeah, I could just turn it like this. So let me just loosen this up a bit. And then I'll just get it turned like this and get it repositioned. And I think that's going to be the trick with this, is getting that camera positioned exactly where you want it to be. Okay, so we're good there. All right, so now it's just a matter of getting the camera positioned exactly over the, let me get it focused here too. And okay, we got some light. And then which camera do you choose? That's kind of the other trick with this is defaulting to one particular camera on my on my iPhone. It doesn't look like you can get the distance worked out, so that's going to be, let's see if I can, yeah, it's going to be really hard for it to focus on this. So it's getting light in there, and it's kind of heavy in this mode, so I think you're going to have to be careful about running it in landscape mode like this. But the problem is that I can't get it to focus in that mode. So what I might try is just using the regular camera, which I don't know if I can stream to you or not. That's the one trick. So we're going to have to play with this a little bit more. I'm missing a lot of chats. So stay with me, everybody. Yeah, so Jeff Jones, this one is, the telescope is like $349, but they have one that starts at $179, but it's not the Newtonian. So it is a little on the price. Yeah, it's a little expensive, but you know what? Like if your kids are getting into it. See, one thing you can't do is position the phone, like I can't move the phone back. And so what I think I want to do is attempt to use the camera. So you just lost my camera image, but that's okay, because I'm going to try to get the other camera up. Because my phone has like 3 cameras on it, so I want to maybe position the right camera for the job here. So let me take the phone out real quick. And you will see something in a minute. Let me just get the better camera out here. So I think if I go into this mode, I'm going to reposition this so that we have a better image. I'm going to move this back around this way. We're having a bit of a crazy day here. So I have this issue of mice moving into my, oh wait, it does, you know what? Oh, look at that. It does do that. All right, so hang on, folks. Give me a second here. I'm going to do another go at it here. Hang on one second. Let me just get back to my other visual quality. And let me check and see if I've got the image up that I want for you all. There we go. Okay, let me try this again. So it looks as though you do have the ability to move it, to position it. So you can move it up and down. And let me get it focused here so I can get it far back. And then you can kind of dial it in. Again, I'm going to have trouble here because my phone does not focus very well here with this particular camera. So I don't know what camera the NDI thing defaults to. You can't choose which of the iPhone cameras it uses. So that's part of the challenge with this. So even with that zoom out thing, which I can do like this, then you got a super tiny image. So that's going to be really hard. So I'm going to drop out of here again real quick. I just want to see if I can, if I can get one of the other cameras to work, that might be more interesting for you all. So yeah, see, it's just not focusing very well. Let me check and see what I've got for an image inside of there. And it could be, too, that I've got like the wrong eyepiece on here, too. So let me see if I can get something focused. Okay. Let me just detach this real quick and get a good focused image. I probably should have started with that, right? All right. And let's see if I can find something that's colorful. There's some blue benches out there that I could focus on. I've got like the super zoomed in eyepiece. Let me switch eyepieces because that might be a little better too. So this telescope came with 2 eyepieces. And so this was the 10 millimeter one, and this is the 25, which I think gives us a wide, yeah, that's much better. Okay. So I'm going to reposition this. And then I'm going to try to find something a little bit more colorful outside so that you can actually see something. There's a bench out there that I'm looking for, so let me get that bench in there, and then there we go. Okay, so we got the bench. By the way, this telescope will make things upside down because it is a Newtonian, so be aware of that. Okay. So let's get that NDI camera back up real quick, and maybe this will work. Let's see. Are we back up? Let's see here. NDI, I'm going to change my, there we go. Okay, we're good. Okay. Oops, okay. All right, so let me bring this back over here, and let's see how this works now. Okay, so we've got the camera going. We have it pointed, the telescope pointed where I want to point it at. I'm going to reattach this and get this clamped on here. Yeah, so you kind of just put it around the eyepiece. So I'm just going to tighten it up like this. All right, so it's on there. And I'm going to move that like that. And then we're going to drop in the phone here. This might actually work now. Let's see. And you know, the phone is heavy, so it is like slipping. It's slipping down a bit. I don't think you can tighten this at all. So let's get it back into position here. All right. Oh, we're seeing something, folks. Yeah. So I think you're going to have some of this. All right. Let me see if I can focus it. I can't get it to focus, so I've got to move it out a little bit. Or I could change the focus. There we go. Yeah, that works. But is there a way to tighten? Because it keeps slipping. See that? It's like it slips. So I'm not sure if there's a way to tighten that. But normally you would have it like this. So that might be a little better. Yeah, it's not slipping that way. Yeah, that seems to work. And you could zoom in, for example. Well, that's pretty cool. What do you all think of that? I think that's pretty neat. I'm looking at it myself on the thing there. So yeah, you kind of have like this tunnel vision thing, but you could zoom, you could choose a different lens on your phone. That might work. And what I want to do here is get a better shot of I want to do a recording with this, and I'm going to zoom in on that apparatus there so we can, oops, I hit the wrong button, menu, turn it off, there we go. So let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, and I'll zoom out just a little bit here. And we got the guys out mowing the grass right now too, so it doesn't help. Okay, so now I'm going to go grab my keyboard again, because I don't know what I did with it. And we're going to record a quick segment. And that will do it for the stream today, I think. This was kind of a fun one. Where did my keyboard go? I put it, there it is. Okay. And now that I know how to do it, I'm going to repeat my process here. All right, so let me hit record. And the computer's starting to get a little bit more involved here. So I'm going to close the quick view. And I'm just trying to see what my render time is looking like. So this is one of those things with vMix that you got to experiment with. So with all these NDI sources going now, we're running at about 20% CPU. And the render time, so this might be one where we see a little bit of, I'm interested to see if we have any recording issues with this. Because my system is getting a little bit more strained than it was yesterday. So this will be a fun a fun thing to experiment with. So let me just hit the record, and let's see how this does. And the fan's going on the laptop now. All right, so now we're recording, and we're doing, that should give me a CPU spike, so we're about 26%. We're still pretty good. GPU memory is only 10%, and the render time is 12 milliseconds, so that's perfect. Okay. So we're going to come back over here now that we're recording, and I'm going to take the phone out real quick, and we'll go from there. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, so I've got the device here clamped to my eyepiece, and now what I'm going to do is put the phone in, and you're watching a live stream from the phone. And as you can see, we've already got some image here, and all I have to do is just kind of adjust the adjustments here to get it into a good spot. Now, on my phone right now, I can't choose which camera that I'm using, but I can move the phone a little closer to the eyepiece and kind of adjust things until I get it into the right spot. So you get a lot of good adjustments here. And as you can see, we've got that blue bench there right in there and right all locked in. It looks pretty cool. So we're not, of course, looking at the sky right now because it's the daytime, but you get a sense as to how this might work. And I really like the adjustment on this. It's really easy to get it going. Just dial it in there, get your camera aligned, and you've got a pretty good image here. The guys are out mowing the grass right now. You'll see him drive right by there. And altogether, it seems to be working pretty cool. So this is a neat way to get a smartphone attached to your telescope or binocular, and it's pretty easy to figure out. I'm eager to try this with my Pixel phone because it has a night vision mode, so it'd be fun to see how it's able to work with super low light conditions. But you definitely have to keep your hands off of it because you can see how easy it is to get a lot of knocking going on with just a little tap of the finger. So you'll want to get it really stable, let go and let it kind of settle down, and then you should be able to capture some good images. So you might want to get something where you've got a remote trigger for the photos there, but it seems to be working pretty cool. All right. That was cool. I may want to watch that real quick to see how it came out. And let me tell you, folks, I am digging this vMix. So as I was shooting this on the other side of the room, I had vMix beaming me. Here, let me show you what I'm doing. vMix is beaming me the multi-viewer. Isn't that crazy? On NDI. It's amazing. That's probably eating up some CPU cycles. So if I kill this now, let's see. I should get my, yeah, so my CPU dropped. So that was taking about 10% of the CPU. But wow, pretty cool. All right, so I just want to play that back real quick. I'm going to add 2 clips here. I want to check the log here first, and just give me a second, folks. And this would be an area where we would see some drop frames, but we didn't. So it captured every frame, so that was good. All right, so I'm going to go back. Bear with me for 1 second, folks. I'm just going to rename some files here. This turned out to be like a 2-hour shoot. I was not expecting to take this long, but this last part took a little bit of time, right? Because it was, so this is 11. Oh, we have a couple of things here. So we had this one. So this is 11, Celestron adapter part 1. What's nice is that this will actually be a usable review. 12, Celestron adapter part 2. I may need to watch all of these to figure out how this comes together. Celestron adapter part 3. I'm just curious to see how this whole thing came out here. So let me add the list here. I'm just going to add one. I'm just curious to see how that last one worked. So we're going to play that back real quick. And we'll go to 13. And this was all NDI, folks. That's what the beauty of NDI is. It's just an amazing technology. All right, so let's go. It's going on the laptop now. All right, so now we're recording, and we're doing, that should give me a CPU spike, so we're about 26%. We're still pretty good. GPU memory is only 10%, and the render time. Come back over here now that we're recording, and I'm going to take the phone out real quick, and we'll go from there. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, so I've got the device here clamped to my eyepiece, and now what I'm going to do is put the phone in, and you're watching a live stream from the phone. And as you can see, we've already got some image here, and all I have to do is just kind of adjust the adjustments here to get it into a good spot. Now, on my phone right now, I can't choose which camera that I'm using, but I can move the phone a little closer to the eyepiece and kind of adjust things until I get it into the right spot. So you get a lot of good adjustments here. And as you can see, we've got that blue bench there right in there and right all locked in. It looks pretty cool. So we're not, of course, looking at the sky right now because it's the daytime, but you get a sense as to how this might work. And I really like the adjustment on this. It's really easy to get it going. Just dial it in there. So we're not, of course, looking at the sky right now because it's the daytime, but you get a sense as to how this might work. And I really like the adjustment on this. It's really easy to get it going. Just dial it in there, get your camera aligned, and you've got a pretty good image here. The guys are out mowing the grass right now. You'll see him drive right by there. And all together, it seems to be working pretty cool. So this is a neat way to get a smartphone attached to your telescope or binocular, and it's pretty easy to figure out. I'm eager to try this with my Pixel phone because it has a night vision mode, so it'd be fun to see how it's able to work with super low light conditions. But you definitely have to keep your hands off of it because you can see how easy it is to get a lot of knocking going on with just a little tap of the finger. So you'll want to get it really stable, let go and let it kind of settle down, and then you should be able to capture some good images. So you might want to get something where you've got a remote trigger for the photos there, but it seems to be working pretty cool. All right. I did have like a little drop there when I said adjustment. It like cut out. But checking the log, and this is the one issue that you run into with vMix, is that as you start stressing the system, this is where you start to see potential problems. And I think, yeah, so it didn't drop any frames, had no mixing errors on the audio. So this could have been, I'm just looking through here, it could have been an issue with the NDI subsystem. We had a lot of stuff going back and forth, and this is where I think, on a laptop, so think about what we were just doing here from a technical standpoint. NDI out to the laptop for the multi-viewer. We had NDI in from the camera, NDI in from the phone camera, which is still going right now, by the way. A lot of moving parts here, and I think that might have got our laptop going. One thing and this is the live image still, so that's still working. One thing that somebody mentioned to me is that on laptops, the CPU has those bursting things where it'll slow down and speed up again. So that could have been what happened there. So I do have to fix that. Yeah, that's that. So yeah, the telescope is pointed at a blue bench. I wanted something colorful so we could actually see, like, otherwise it's just a bunch of brown twigs. So that's the bench out in the backyard there. So yeah, cool stuff. All right, let me just shoot my outro real quick, and let me get my phone back too. Let me go grab the phone, and I'll fix that audio glitch later. That worked out great. So let's turn that off. We're going to turn off that camera, and we're going to grab my phone out of here. And so I may need to do a little bit of editing on that thing to get it into a good spot, but all right. Okay, I'm back. And we're gonna shut down that multi-viewer, shut down the NDI for that. We're gonna kill that. Okay. All right, so let's shoot my outro there. Yes, I got a lot of stuff to clean up, and I got a lot of work to do now. I got to do more stuff. But the nice thing is, I think we actually got a pretty good video shot with this thing. So cool. That's a good extras channel thing. All right. So let's do a quick outro, and then we'll wrap it up. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. So pretty cool stuff we've got here. A lot of work for me to do and a big mess of tech here I got to clean up now that the unboxings are all over with. So stay tuned. We're going to have more on most of this stuff here on the channel in the coming weeks. And let me know what things you want to see first. That'll really help me, again, schedule all of my production for the coming days here. So that'll do it for now. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right. So that is that. Yeah, so I think if I build my production machine, we should be in a better spot. 14, conclusion. All right. I think we are good. Actually, you know what I think I want to do? I don't think I mentioned that I bought the Celestron adapter. So I might want to do my disclaimer. The garage door is opening. Yeah, we're almost done with the stream here. We're just wrapping up. We're past the 2-hour mark. So we have been, yeah, this is a good one. I'm impressed with this adapter. I didn't think I would get a usable image out of it. And remember, like, if I had dialed in the 2x lens on the iPhone, because the iPhone defaults to on the iPhone on the NDI app, it defaults to the like the 1x lens. So that's pretty neat. And I'm just waiting for my garage door to close again because I got a little bit of noise going on outside there. All right. Yeah, now they're leaf blowing, so that's part of what's going on. So, all right. So we do the disclaimer on this, and then we'll wrap up. Okay, 3, 2, 1. And I didn't mention that the adapter here I purchased with my own funds along with the telescope. And that is going to do it for this unboxing video. Thank you all for tuning in. Definitely let me know down in the comments below which things you'd like to see first. That will help us to prioritize what we put together in the coming weeks here. And I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. I haven't done one of these in a while. I love doing them, and I know you like to watch them too. A lot more to come, so stay tuned. And until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right, we're out, as they say. So let us check the log on that one. Yeah, but I'll tell you, this has been pretty solid here. Yeah, no drop frames there either. Okay, so we're going to go back to... Yeah, I think I'm interested to see how the NDI on, you know, if I'm shooting in like 4 or 5 NDI sources at the same time, how that might impact vMix. And I suspect that audio drop we had, which was the only glitch we had in this entire show, it could have been a couple of things. It could have been my wireless mic losing connection to the base, but I have not seen that happen before. So the likelihood here was that there was a timing glitch on the NDI or the CPU was an issue. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I missed a ton of chats, so I'll stick around for a few minutes here just to acknowledge some of those things there. Yeah, gravity was in the wrong direction, as everybody's pointing out. Yeah, everything's upside down. Yeah, so those Newtonian telescopes, I believe, invert the image based on how they're mirrors. So they invert the image, and it usually ends up upside down. But if you're looking at a planet, it's all the same. But the beauty of vMix is that I could take that I could have actually flipped that around. So I could have made it so it was right side up in vMix there. Ari says, with the HP Pavilion, somebody was about to come down here and they changed their mind. With the HP Pavilion, is there any issues with the fan? No, typically these machines all are fine. If you start gaming on them, like, you got to expect there's going to be fan noise. It's just par for the course. And different people, and this is one of the hard parts about reviewing laptops, is that different people have different expectations for what the fan noise should be on one of these things. So it's hard for me to say, this fan is loud versus not. So here's been my scale of fan noise. The worst fan noise I've ever experienced was on my Alienware 15, which I just sold to one of our viewers here, actually. And if it's not as loud as that, then the fan's not that loud. That's kind of how I put it. So yeah, it's tricky. But yeah, some are louder than others. The smaller the laptop gets, the louder the fan's going to be. And the smaller the fan is, the more RPMs it needs to do, so it's going to be noisier, and that's kind of the trade-off. Incidentally, my Lenovo gaming laptop over there has been doing great on fan noise. I've been really pleased with it overall, for sure, so it's good. Ankit wants to know, is NDI free to use? Yes, NDI is free. And it's free with caveats, depending on what you're buying. So if you buy a device that has NDI built into it, for example, the manufacturer is paying a licensing fee to NewTek to use that technology. And I think what NewTek is doing, and by the way, a portion of my of my vMix purchase when I make it's going to go to NewTek because they've licensed NDI for this as well. But to use it as a user, it's free to use. So if you go to just look up NDI, NewTek NDI, and Tech is it's NEWTEK. You can download the tools for Windows or Mac. The tools on Windows are a little bit more extensive. And they're free, but extensive meaning it's got more features than the Mac version does. They allow you to take any NDI source and turn it into a webcam. That's got some potential. You have the ability to use, I'm trying to think what else you can do with it. You have the ability to use your phone, the camera phone thing I was doing a minute ago. You can do that for free. Right now, the NDI capture and the NDI camera are only on iPhone and iPad, but they are free right now. Normally, they're like $10 a shot for the app, free because of the current situation. So you do have that available to you. That is, you should definitely try it out. And there is a plugin for OBS for NDI. So if you want to go completely free, you download OBS. That's what Mark, the Puzzle Man, is doing right now. You download OBS, you download the NDI plugin, which is free, and then you can connect in all of your devices. Now what you can do, so I've got like this box right now. This is how my camera, this camera right here, and the audio, that's how that's getting to you, is through this box. This is called the Bird Dog, and it's dropping the video out over the network. So everything that you are seeing from me is coming into the laptop over the network. Isn't that cool? This camera is connected via USB right now. And then I have another box called the Spark, which is doing the overhead view right now. And this has a little bit of compression to it. This is what's called NDI-HX. So the trade-off here is a little bit of latency, which we demoed a little bit earlier. So listen to this. So you see how it didn't give you the sound immediately? Because it is compressing the image on the box that camera is connected to. And then the computer has to decompress it and then put it into vMix here. So the Bird Dog box here is running with very minimal latency because there's very little compression. But it uses about 100 megabits versus, I think, 12 or 14 on the other box. So if you are bandwidth constrained or you're trying to do stuff over Wi-Fi, the NDI-HX stuff is better because it's compressed and you can fit more on limited bandwidth. So for example, what we just did with the telescope, the PTZ optics camera, NDI-HX, and the phone uses that NDI-HX as well. So this camera, 100 megabits, those two cameras were like not even 30, maybe 30 or 40, somewhere in that scope. So it's it's a very different thing with it, but it works great. Ari, I'm not sure about overheating. I mean, we do, and you'd have to look at the review. I would check it out because we did test. We run the 3D Mark stress test on it to see how well it does under sustained load. So I would check out that review because we go through all of that. But it's a good. HP, Dell, and Lenovo all make good laptops now. I've not found bad ones really. They're all good. Yeah. All right, everybody. I am going to wrap up here, I think, because I've got to get this footage downloaded, and I want to shoot it off to Jake so he can start working on some stuff. And yeah, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. And it's been fun to play around with vMix. I'm a little concerned that I got that audio glitch there, so I got to explore that a little bit. I think I know why it happened, and I don't think it will happen when I build the production machine. So that is my plan there. And yeah, so thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll be back. I might be back tomorrow because I'm getting that new iPhone SE in. And I thought it might be fun to do like a live unboxing and setup of it. So we might do that tomorrow. So set your notification bell. And I'm going to close it out here. And thank you all for tuning in. It was fun. This telescope thing was pretty cool. That was a neat trick. So good stuff. Okay, everybody, we'll talk soon. And please stay safe. Wash your hands. Keep socially distancing as best you can. And we'll be through this hopefully sooner rather than later. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.